Good evening. I'd love to invite everyone to take a seat. We're going to get started with our main stage event in just a moment here. I want to say good evening to everyone and welcome to A Night in Bloom. My name is Stephanie Scherf, and I'm the co-director and CEO here at the Center for Arts at the Armory. So there's a lot of firsts tonight. I'm not going to go into all of them, but this is our first hybrid gala. So a very warm welcome to all of you who are here with us in person and also those who are online. So much planning and preparation has gone into tonight's event, and I want to start off by thanking our gala committee, who really worked hand in glove with me to get ready for this gala. Our committee includes Michelle Carvajal, Pamela Fallon, Ruth Ferris, Stefan Goller. They definitely deserve your applause. They've been working around the clock with us. Hathaway Higgs, Joe Lynch, Lilith Lennox Orion, Eva Bennett Rosenberg, Robert Smith, and David Thorne Scott. Yes. So I'd like to thank our board of directors, staff, and volunteers for helping to make tonight possible. You'll be hearing from some of them tonight, and their names are also listed in the program. So they've also just been working so hard to make this place. Doesn't it look amazing? So I'd also like to thank our auction item donors and say a word about our auction, which closes on Sunday at 10 p.m. So over here to my right, we have a display of some of our auction items, but there are many more that you'll see when you go to our online auction site. So our at-home audience might have a slight advantage right now over our in-person audience with the online bidding, but everyone can use the event access email you received to access the online auction, and there are also QR codes available at the auction table that will take you directly to the online auction. So next up, I would like to thank our event sponsors. At the growing level, we thank Summer Nova. At the sprouting level, we thank Biomed Realty and the Boston Foundation. At the seeding level, we thank Assembly Row, Peter Cody from Caldwell Banker Realty, Mallory Portraits, Somerville Media Center, Susan Wilson Photography, Tufts, and VDA. Thank you so much. Also, a big thank you to our watering can sponsors. We've got the floral and bloom theme going tonight. And thank you also to our Ray of Sunlight sponsors. Yes. So next, I'd like to present our Volunteer of the Year Award. Michael Milczarek cannot be with us tonight due to a prior family engagement, but we wanted to go ahead with celebrating his Volunteer of the Year Award. So lucky for us, Michael came looking for opportunities to help out in finance at a local nonprofit after he retired from a 40-year career focused on the financial and organizational management of nonprofit organizations, providing services to individuals with special education needs and work training. My board, Jess and I, consider Michael to be our volunteer CFO, and we're incredibly grateful for the expertise and time he has shared with us over the past 2.5 years. He's been instrumental in so many aspects of our financial management, from helping us create our first real organizational budget, to helping us navigate the ins and outs of pandemic relief, and simply providing sound financial advice. So if you're watching tonight, thank you, Michael, for everything you do for us. So now I'd like to introduce you to my co-director and COO, Jess White. Jess joined the team in August of last year as operations manager, and we announced her promotion to co-director and COO in April. And I can't tell you how grateful I am to have such a capable and supportive partner in this journey as Jess.
As I step on cords and ruin everything. Thank you, Stephanie. It's really an honor to serve as co-director with you, and I'm really excited to share with all of our guests here some of the improvements that we've done on this magical space. After many months of consulting with different members of the arts community and hearing their needs, we've started the process of enhancing the space for the community. I very much see my role as helping to make the Center for Arts at the Armory a viable and competitive performance space that can serve the needs of many local artists, community groups, and organizations. I also want to position us as being a sought-after venue on a national and an international scale. We've started by making some aesthetic and necessary changes. We actually painted the walls so that they all match, which is amazing. We've installed this new stage. We hung up some theater velours, which also provide further soundproofing. And we're looking to purchase an upgraded sound system and enhance our lighting and projection system in the future. Eventually, we'd also love to put in a sprung floor throughout the whole space, which would allow for more dance productions, as well as maybe some tiered seating. We have such big ideas of how to make these necessary improvements and build our visibility and create an equitable access to our performance hall that our community deserves. We are currently building our operational plan and our capital plan with these things in mind. And before I hand this back over to Stephanie, I just want to acknowledge our amazing and hardworking staff. Working for a small nonprofit comes with many challenges, and all of our staff work unbelievably hard to support and sustain our mission. And I'm so happy and honored to be working alongside of them. And I thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Jess. So I want to pause here for a moment and say once again why the support of everyone here tonight is so important, and also acknowledge and thank you for sticking by us during the pandemic. We are still ramping up after being shuttered for many months and getting back to hosting 750 plus events each year as an accessible and inclusive venue. So we've had to rebuild our staff and meet payroll and operational expenses. We've been improving our spaces like Jess just talked about, and we're making our own programming more intentional and robust while focusing on diversity, equity, and inclusion. We're fundraising so that we can build on a sliding scale model that allows us to offer our cafe and hall spaces for free and subsidized rates through the Performance Opportunity Program, or POP, while we also book acts touring regionally, nationally, and internationally for our Spotlight Series performances. We've formalized our visual arts exhibitions in the cafe with rotating monthly exhibitions. I think one of our honorees has had 2 recent exhibitions in the cafe. We're going to hear more about her in a minute. We've also taken over sole management of the Somerville Winter Farmers Market. We're both proudly Somerville while also seeking to serve communities and artists from greater Boston. So tonight, our gala fundraising goal is $30,000, and I'm not quite sure where we are at the moment, but a few hours ago, we were hovering right around $25,000, so we're getting close to our goal. And by being here tonight, participating in our online auction, writing a check, making or texting an online donation, or simply letting us know how you can help, you are a key part in helping us reach full bloom as Somerville's thriving arts, cultural, and community venue. We are so sincerely grateful for your support. So let's give a round of applause just to all of you for being here. So I wanted to share a few words about our new landlord and introduce a special guest. On June 1st, 2021, the city of Somerville took the historic Armory building by eminent domain with the intent to permanently establish the Armory as a community resource for the arts. Throughout this process, the Center for Arts at the Armory has remained an independent 501c3 nonprofit arts organization and the anchor tenant in the building, operating the performance hall, the cafe, and a small room in the basement. Currently, we have a use and occupancy agreement with the city of Somerville. We know that the city is working on a process by which entities like ours will be able to respond to an RFP in pursuit of a long-term lease with the city. In the meantime, we are here to work collaboratively with the city, and we greatly appreciate everything the city has done to support not just our organization and the Armory building during a time of great need, but also the city's entire arts sector. The amount of support that the city has issued to the arts community during the pandemic has been unprecedented and was critical to our ability to survive. And for that, we're deeply grateful. On that note, I would like to say thank you to the City of Somerville, Mayor Katiana Ballantyne, and former Mayor Joe Curtatone. It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce to you the Madam Mayor of the City of Somerville, Katiana Ballantyne.
Good evening. It's so nice to see everyone here. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Steph, and all the artists and performers here this evening. And thank you to everyone for turning out in support of this incredible and awesome organization. I can't believe it's 15 years since you opened your doors here. I want to congratulate you and everyone that has been a part of the success of the Center of Arts at the Armory. Whether you work here behind the scenes, perform on stage, are a donor or a volunteer, or attend in the audience, let's have a round of applause for all of you for keeping this hub of arts, culture, and community thriving in Somerville. Each of those 15 years has brought so many benefits to our community. You've inspired our residents with amazing art events, served our community with engaging community events, and you've even kept us supplies with local healthy produce with the winter's farmers market. You've even held blood drives. Simply put, you have served as an important role in supporting the city's cultural and community infrastructure. And you've not only strengthened the fabric of our community, but you've added flair and creativity to it. It's as if it's taken that fabric, added shiny ribbons, tie-dyed it, and thrown on some glitter to make it all the more fabulous and fun. At the same time, the Center for the Arts at the Armory has played an important role in supporting diversity, equity, and inclusion in the arts. It's so important that you have been creating platforms for diverse artists and expanding access, such as offering the performance hall at low rates to diverse artists, because you know the usual fee would otherwise be a barrier to entry for some. And you've been supporting artists and event organizers even as you've needed to seek support yourself. Running an arts organization brings many challenges. And on top of that, the pandemic has been hard on performers and art venues. But through smart management, creative approaches, and sheer determination, you've navigated the crisis with skill and pluck. I want to recognize the loss, the heartache, and the frustrations your team and your artists have endured during a global health crisis that disrupted your art and your work, and for a time literally shut your doors. But you've been nimble, you've been flexible, and you've been a shining example of innovation, imagination, and moving forward during the pandemic. The Center for the Arts at the Armory is fortunate to have such resilient leadership and such strong community support. And again, Somerville is fortunate to have such a vibrant, accessible, welcoming, thriving, transformative art hubs. Those last 5 adjectives came from Ruth and Jess when I last spoke to them, and I use them because they fit and deserve to be heard. I'd also like to share some words from a recent article written by an art gallery director, Maya Allison, and artistic director Bill Bragan from NYU. They wrote the following: art provides a framework to process the world and open conversations, create empathy, and prime people's emotions for change. Art offers a different way to see the world, and art can create the environment for positive change in public sphere. Art is characterized by its ability to shift one's perception just enough, even slightly open one's mind or heart. Change can't happen without that. Somerville is a community that believes in and is actively pursuing progressive change. We are in a time where the world needs more empathy. We live in a moment in which we desperately need positive change in public sphere and more open hearts and minds. Organizations like the Center for the Arts at the Armory are doing their part, not just to entertain and inspire us, but to make us better. So again, congratulations on an outstanding example you set. And thank you again for the vital work that you do. Good evening.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ruth Farris. I'm one of the board members here, and it's wonderful to see you all. Thank you for being here. And I have the pleasure and honor of introducing one of our honorees, who is my friend and one of my favorite artists, Pauline Lim. Some of her work will be shown up here, I'm sure, at some point in the slideshow. And she was the artist mentioned that she's had shows in the cafe a couple of times. But I want to tell you about when I first met Pauline. Was in 2009. Some of you might recall, but the city had a call for, there was a sister city delegation going to Morocco. And it was educators and artists and health professionals. And I got swept into it, luckily, as a mental health professional, so I was excited to go. So I had met, Pauline was part of that, so I'd met her there. But very soon, maybe the first or second night we were in Morocco, they were giving this big dinner. I mean, really, I thought like, it was like what you see the State Department does, and like, do they think we're Hillary Clinton, or a big event, very formal, the tables all set, many waiters hanging around, and it was long, and they're waiting long, and now we're waiting for the mayor, now we're waiting for the governor, and we're hungry, and we're jet lagged, and we're like, what's going on? And it's very awkward. Somehow, up comes this sprite, and it's Pauline doing this exuberant dance, not cartwheeling exactly, but it was about as big as cartwheeling. That's how it looked to me, like, oh my God. And me being the timid social worker, I really was like, oh my God, what is she doing? So the whole place was in silence for a while, like, what is this? And if Mayor Joe is still here, he has his own take on this. But within about, 30 seconds or a long minute, other people got up and danced. And it was like, oh, and it was beautiful. And it was like, now I know what an artist is. I thought of Pauline just as a visual artist, but she made this amazing dance. She warmed us all up. She made our group so cohesive. And that's my image of an artist. So Pauline, if you can come up.
Okay, I've been told to use this microphone. Thank you so much, Ruth. This is a very surreal moment for me because I never thought I would get an award. This month has been AAPI Appreciation Month, and I've been thinking a lot about my struggle with my parents, and I never wrote my acceptance speech because I was in denial and procrastinating. But today I went to a writing workshop specializing in 3-word sentences, so I have 33 words to tell you guys. Parents gave all, came with little, dreamt of better, kids didn't understand. Art trumped medicine, necessary for life. Won an award, still feel guilty. How to compensate? I love Mom, I need art. Mom is watching remotely from Florida. Hi, Mom, and this is for you. And I just want to thank everybody, the City of Somerville, Brick Bottom Artists Association, my husband, everybody who's crazy. You're not alone, okay?
Good evening. My name is Hathalie Higgs, and I'm a CAA board member. Tonight, it is my great pleasure to introduce the recipient of the Community Arts Advocate Award and our next Gala honoree, Emily Reddick. Emily is the executive director of Mass Creative, the Massachusetts statewide arts advocacy organization. She has 15 years experience in strategic and management positions for nonprofit arts organizations, including her work as the first director of Lynn's Downtown Cultural District, where she established the city's first public art commission and organized free public events with local arts and community groups. Emily was also the artistic producer at Merrimack Repertory Theater, where she developed and supervised their first education department effort, strengthening partnerships with local social service organizations and schools. Emily is someone who knows that the arts are not a frill. She understands that the arts build community, celebrate diversity, and drive local economies. We're grateful for her steadfast commitment to fight for fundamental issues like equitable arts access and stable cultural funding year after year. Throughout her career, Emily has been a tireless and instrumental advocate for state support for the arts, especially during the past 2 years of pandemic closures. Under her leadership, Somerville arts organizations like Arts for the Armory have successfully focused their advocacy, resulting in unprecedented amounts of pandemic relief funding. Her work has helped keep the entire arts sector afloat during this crisis, and we are able to celebrate tonight in large part because her dedication got us through. Unfortunately, Emily couldn't be with us this evening. She's had a family emergency this week, and I've heard she's on a tarmac somewhere in New Jersey. So our sympathies, Emily, but we will make sure she gets this award, and I just would like everyone to join me in just a warm applause and appreciation for Emily for our 2022 Community Arts Advocate honoree, Emily Reddick.
If I don't put it down, I'm sure I'm going to knock it off. Good evening. My name is Robert Smith, and I'm the president of the board at the Center for Arts at the Armory. It is my privilege tonight to present this year's Lifetime Achievement honoree, Catherine Martin Widmer. She began her painting school in 1979 in an old laundromat. You will hear more about this. For 40 years, she helped people make their lives more beautiful, using color, form, and encouraging her students to go ahead, trust, believe. The Catherine Martin Widmer School of Painting has continued to flourish since her passing in 2019 with the guidance, love, and dedication of her family and artist and teacher, Amy Ward. Please welcome Catherine's son, Richard, who will share some of the thousands of lives his mother touched, starting in that laundromat in 1979.
Thank you, Robert. Hello and thank you. And on behalf of Catherine Martin Widmer and the School of Painting, it's an honor to receive this Lifetime Achievement Award. Thank you to the Center for the Arts at the Armory, and thank you to the selection committee. And congratulations to Pauline and to Emily. For the record, this is not my mother's first award. In 1976, she was awarded the highly coveted World's Best Mom Award that we celebrated with French toast and bacon. Kathy came to Somerville in 1970 with a group of friends that she'd met in an encounter group and started a household on Summit Ave, not a commune. And determined to make her living as an artist, she rented a studio space above the Empire Plate Glass Company on McGrath Highway, which then kind of burned down in a suspicious fire. So single mom, out of work, near total loss, broke. She went to St. Catherine's to pray. And she heard a voice. Kathy, down the street, in a laundromat, start a painting school. The year was 1979, and the Catherine Martin Widmer School of Painting was born. Whatever age, skill, or experience, we have a class for you. For 40 years, Catherine taught painting, demonstrating what art can do for the human soul: healing, self-actualization, creative expression, and community. Catherine changed the world one student at a time. Donna, Kathleen, Arlene, Michael, Alma, Margaret, Martin, John, Debbie, Robbie, Jennifer, Sabrina, Rory, Susanna, Joan, Jean, DB, Carrie, Charles, Scott, Becky, Natasha, Naomi, Diane, Anne, Leah, Eric, Mai, Elena, Fiona, Mark, Lynn, Felicitas, Aisha, Eduardo, Patrick, Michaela, David K., Sydney, David C.B., Bonnie, Caitlin, Stephanie, Mateus, Sebastian, Benjamin, Isabella, Jahua, Allison, Lexi, Margaret, Jonathan, Christy, Valeria, Vivian, Cal, Ro, Zia, Sienna, Vi, Olive, and Clint, and even Janice. Miracle after miracle. The list goes on and on. I'd like to take a moment to reintroduce Amy Ward, my mother's student and artist and close friend. Amy now leads the painting school and carries the title of Madam Queen. I'm very happy, very joyful to report that the school is in wonderful shape. It has new life, classes are filled, and my mother's legacy of color and beauty are thriving. What would my mom say today if she were with us? Stand up straight, speak out, where's your tie? Those blues don't match. But she would say thank you to Somerville for giving her a home for her son, and to her neighbors. Janine's here today. And she would say thank you for our schools and the Department of Public Works and to Parks and Rec and to the publicly elected officials, former Mayor Jean Brune, Senator Pat Jalen, and then I see today we have Joe and Katiana and others among us. Thank you, everybody. I think she would mention our grandchildren, Andre and Daniel, both sensitive and strong people, and would ask how we can make the world a better place for our future generations. And she would speak against war. How can we still believe that sending soldiers to kill soldiers will solve problems? And she might also ask you to stand up and turn to your neighbors, and offer peace. Peace be with you. Thank you. Catherine's paintings, her garden, and her school, her gifts, she made the world a better place. Amy Ward, you have big white boots to fill. Together with organizations like the Center for the Arts at the Armory and the people in our audience today, people who value arts in our community, may the work of the Catherine Martin Whitmer School of Painting continue long into the future. And thank you for this opportunity to share. On behalf of Somerville, and on behalf of all of your students, we thank you. We miss you, Mom, and peace be with you.
Annalie, how you doing? You okay? All right. Good evening and thank you, everyone. I'm Joe Lynch, a member of tonight's Gala Organizing Committee and former chair of the Arts at the Armory Advisory Committee. Since 1999, Books of Hope has published hundreds of young authors from its home base in East Somerville. As a nonprofit arts program, Books of Hope offers paid fellowships, writing workshops, and open mic sessions for young people. It is supported by the Massachusetts Cultural Council, the Somerville Arts Council, independent foundations, and Books of Hope has been a longtime partner of Arts at the Armory. They have resumed their monthly in-person teen open mic night right here in the cafe, and it's always packed. Annalie, I am so pleased to present one of the published authors assisted by Books of Hope, 22-year-old Annalie DePrince. Annalie is a multimedia artist, creative writer, video editor, as well as the author of her autobiography, The Life I Lived Through My Imagination, and it was published by Books of Hope in 2021. Annalee is currently enrolled in Bunker Hill Community College, majoring in political science. She is also enrolled in their Global Leadership Program. As an established author, an aspiring activist, Annalee seeks to use her storytelling talents through filmmaking, poetry, and the spoken word to address political matters with hopes of fostering change through art and advocacy. And if that's not enough for you, Annalee now has a filmmaking certificate from New York University's Tisch School for the Arts. Please welcome Annalee DePrince.
Hello. As we gather here tonight, I wanted to share a poem just in favor of the night. Why do we think of the night as an antagonist? Why do we run away at night? Or why those nights always attributes with who? When so many marvels bound with His Highness. Why do we think that the glorious stars bow to its white, beautiful, round queen? The best arts are performed no other times than the night. La Traviata chose the night because the best parties do not honor the sunlight. Oh, night, what a beautiful robe. And the night blooms the majestic trends of the gowns, reflecting its queen's glamorous smile. O night, blooming as flowers, peaceful and bright, the king of all nightly tales, the brightness of the world asleep, and the chorist singing Winocula's prayer. The Halloween waves and these invisible voices in the air, streaming a question and the hymn to the night. Oh nuit, oh laisse encore à la terre le calme enchantement de ton l'ombre qui t'escorte est si douce. Est-il une beauté aussi belle que le rêve? Est-il de vérité plus douce que l'espérance? Then comes a signal. His Highness is dawning. The Queen's face is fading. All along, the robe has vanished, and his queen after him. Their rivals have arrived. But remains and the dried ocean these lines. What a beautiful night. Thank you.
Hello, 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 hello. Good evening. My name is Stefan Goller. I am a CAA Gala committee member. I'm excited to bring out our final performer of the evening. This gentleman is a composer, educator, and social entrepreneur, known for his signature violin sounds infused with myriad electronic, urban, and African-American music influences. He's been nominated for a Sports Emmy for Outstanding Musical Composition for his collaboration with ESPN. Anyone ever heard of ESPN? He's worked with artists from Philip Glass to Bill T. Jones to Lady Gaga. You guys heard of her? And he's appeared on NPR and American Idol, and he says Simon Cowell is kind of a nice guy. His acclaimed career as a violinist and an activist spans more than 2 decades. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Daniel Bernard Roumain, AKA DBR.
Hello, it's good to see you. How are you feeling?
Tonight, we would like to dedicate this performance to the victims of the recent massacre in Buffalo, New York, the majority of whom were Black. Our sincere condolences to them and their families. Out of the utmost respect for the fallen, I would now like to read the names of the victims. Roberta A. Drury, Margus D. Morrison, excuse me. Andre McNeil. Aaron Salter. Geraldine Talley. Celestine Janey. Hayward Patterson. Catherine Massey. Pearl Young. And Ruth Whitfield. Rustin Power. If you're interested in getting more involved in anti-racist work, one local organization that we recommend is communitychangeinc.org. Enjoy the performance.
I said hallelujah. Can I get an amen? Can I get a hallelujah? Can I get an amen? Hey, look, we're in church, y'all. How you all feeling? All right, everybody awake now? You ready for some food? You ready for a good and important time? You got to talk to me. You ready for a good and important time? Yes, you can talk to me. You know, it's Friday night, right? It's Friday night. This is classical music and a club. We can do both things at once. You got drinks over there, right? We got children in the audience. I'm going to hear, as my good Haitian mother would often remind me, when someone comes into your space, our space, you never come empty-handed. You bring a gift. So I want to thank everyone in the shaping up tonight, especially Stephanie. Please give Stephanie a hand right over there. Stephanie and I, we go back a long way, right? And I know where I am. I'm in Somerville, the Ville, as they say. I've been living in Norwood, Massachusetts since 2009. The Wood. Oh, is that what they call it? I didn't even know that. Okay. The Wood. I like that. My son was conceived in Lexington, born in Boston, and is growing up in Dover and in Norwood, and I would like to think in the world, not as it is, but as maybe it could be. I look out into this audience right now. This isn't the world as it is. Maybe this is the world as it could be. I wish you could see what I see. All the colors, all the stories. You know, this isn't just the violin, this is my violin. There's a difference, right? My violin can cry. Oh, I meant laugh. My violin could laugh. My violin can cry. My violin can sound like a flute. My violin can breathe. And what I would like most of all is to provide a space for you to speak, for you to say what you feel needs to be said. There's a microphone right there. We're going to come to that in a second, but there will be an opportunity for you to collaborate with me. But before we get there, I'm never going to ask you to do something I won't do myself, so I'm going to play for you a little bit more. This is the Haitian National Anthem. I hope you dig it. Lift every voice. Thank you. Oh, I just wanted to do that with you. I just wanted to do that with you. All right. I want to play for you a piece on these hip-hop studies and etudes. There's one in each key, just like Bach, just like Philip Glass, just like Debussy. That's what composers do. We write things in each key. So may I play one for you in C-sharp minor? Cool. All right, all right. Woo, for hip-hop, that's it, in C-sharp minor. Okay. This is hip-hop study and etude in D minor. The first piece I ever played publicly was Hatikva, the Israeli national anthem. My first music teacher was Mr. Miller. He was Jewish. And I think what he wanted to instill in me, a little black boy from Margate, Florida, was a sense of land, promise, freedom. My parents are from Haiti. My mother didn't care. She just wanted me to play the violin, stay out of trouble. In 1975, I was 5 years old, and in South Florida, black boys didn't play the violin. In fact, to be seen with a violin case might get you beat up. It's embarrassing to play the violin. I had black shoes, I had black pants, my mother would iron a crisp white shirt, and believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, I had a big black afro. And the first piece I ever played publicly was Hatikva. Now, who would have thought on June 21st at 1:32 a.m. in the morning in 2009, just miles from here, my son would be born. Half black, half white, half Haitian, half German, half Catholic, half Jewish. All my son. I think about my responsibility to his DNA. He has a bar mitzvah coming up. Everyone's invited. And he's studying so hard. He's doing these chants, these modal melodies, night after night, with cantor sewn. They do it on Zoom. And he's committed to it. Now, he's all athlete. He says, Dad, you take the bow, I'll take the bat. You dig? He wants nothing to do with music or a violin, but he sings. And it reminds me of my mama, right down the hallway, singing her version of Hatikva. They're both singing. And in between that liminal space, you know what I mean? That liminal space between my embarrassment of playing the violin and my good Haitian mother singing for her son and my son singing for me and for all of us. Somewhere in between that liminal space is light and love. Thank you. I'd like to introduce you to Bernadette. says Bernadette on the back of this violin. That's my mother's middle name. The peg box is a beautiful black Nubian queen, so that when I'm playing, I can be reminded of the things that matter most. Can I play Bernadette for you for a little bit? Now, if my mother was here, she'd say, "Oh my God, Daniel, please, you're embarrassing me. Stop that. Why can't you write something for me? Play for me. Please don't embarrass me." Yeah, I know. This is Black Man Singing. I hope you dig it. 2:38 a.m. in the morning, my mother comes home covered in blood. It was Margate, Florida. I was about 10 years old. And like a lot of 10 years old, I was in bed but not sleeping. My mother comes home. She's a medical technician and a nurse at Margate General Hospital. She came home. And I know what had happened, because it's the same old story. It was 1980. My mother came home covered in blood. She goes to the bathroom, changes her clothes, does her hair, perfectly coiffed, in a bun like Martha Graham or Eartha Kitt, you dig? Yeah. In South Florida in the 1980s, every night they would come on a gurney, 16, maybe 17 years old, sometimes younger, high out of their minds. And they're in the emergency room just laying there, like right over there, like that table. Sometimes nobody's paying attention to them because there's so many of them. See, my mother was a medical technician, but she became a nurse because she saw what was going on, you dig? And she was great at drawing their blood. The first thing that happens, it's got to find out what's going on the inside. And there they are on that gurney, high out of their minds, sometimes screaming in pain. Can I get an amen? It's okay. Yeah, I know. I'm with you. So she would go over to them and she would do what every good mother would do, what every good Haitian mother would do. She would put her hand on their head, say, "It's gonna be all right. I'm here now. I'm here for you. It's gonna be all right." And sometimes in one sentence, she would go from a Haitian patois to Spanish to English, all the while offering care and comfort. My mother would come home covered in blood, not her own. She cared for them. And in the middle of that conversation, she was able to draw their blood and their trust. And she would come home and change. And she would start to cook for her family. I'd be in my bedroom, all the smell of it. And somewhere in between the sauce and the spices, she would sing these strange hybrid melodies. Somewhere in between Hatikva and Haiti was my mother, a composer, filling me with nourishment. It was all gonna be all right. Yeah, can I get an amen? And I said to myself, you know, one day when I get old enough and I'm brave enough, I want to write a song called Black Man Singing. Black Man Singing. Thinking about my mama, down the hall, around the corner, at the stove, feeding our soul, singing. Well, our time is almost up. Yeah, you're supposed to say, oh, no, don't go. Oh, you actually did. Thank you. That makes me feel good. Oh. Now I know where I am. I get it. I get Massachusetts. I do. I do. I get it. Have I earned it? I've been here since 2009. Does that make me a citizen? Kinda. Oh, somebody's saying kinda. Okay, I get it. Well, look, there's a microphone right here, see? How about we do this? I want to hear from you. 30 seconds or less. You can come to this microphone and say whatever you want, whatever you think that needs to be said. The first person's always the hardest. Doesn't matter what age you are, young man in that hat. I see you, yes. Fist bump with mom. And I was, oh my God, please don't embarrass me in front of my mother. My friends are here. I get it. But even you, young man, can step to the microphone and say what needs to be said. Here we go. Give a hand, give a hand. hand. Here we go. Yes, come on up. Yes. This is a poem. It'll be shorter than 30 seconds, I promise. How strange to think of giving up all ambition. Suddenly, I see with such clear eyes the white flake of snow that has fallen in the horse's mane. Beautiful. We need you. Yeah, come on, we need you. That was absolutely, give another hand for that. That was so beautiful.
A simple message. Love is love.
Amour est amour.
Yes. So beautiful.
You probably heard your mom singing that song. I'll try. Haïti chérie, pi bel pays passé ou nan point. The rest is yours.
I think we need a few more. Come on now. Think about your role and responsibility in what I call a symphony of life. Yes.
There is a destiny that makes us brothers. All that we send into the life of others comes into our own.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Mais amor, por favor. More love, please. It's in Portuguese.
We got you. I got you. We need you.
Aie plus de patience. It means have more patience.
Ooh, say it again. Say it again. Closer to the mic. Closer to the mic.
Aie plus de patience. It means have more patience.
Yes. 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 And who will be the last one? This is your moment. He's like, Mom, do not make me. Yes, sir.
And this is for Catherine. Peace be with you, my darling dear. La paz esté contigo, mir. Shanti shalom. Pace, pingan, irini.
Please give them all a hand. Give them all a hand.
Thank you.